My first book is called Chocolate Cows and Purple Cheese and Other Tales from the Home Front. So, the title, I told you we have two daughters. Our oldest daughter is, to this day, is a bit of a princess. She has never met a mirror that she doesn't like. When she was a little girl, she'd do this, Daddy, and she'd look at herself in the reflection in the door, in the back door. Our youngest daughter is very, very literal. Telling her jokes for the longest time was very hard because she didn't know whether we were serious. Now, of course, I loved that. I just ate that stuff up. I would tell her the most ridiculous things, and then she'd go, Dad, is that true? And I'd have to, no, it's not true. So, the title comes from a story about telling, one time Emma, our oldest daughter, asked, she said, Daddy, was I as pretty when I was a baby as I am now? I said, no, you weren't. I was there. Your mom was asleep. I was the one there. I had to help deliver you because the doctors were busy. And so I whipped around and I helped deliver you. And you came out and you were covered in all this purple goop. And so you were very ugly and icky at the time. And our youngest daughter, Olivia, one time asked where chocolate milk comes from. And I said, well, very seriously, from chocolate cows. They come, of course, the trick is first you have to catch them. You catch them, and then you put them in the freezer, and then once they freeze, then you squish them up and you get chocolate milk. Dad, is that true? No, Olivia, it's not true. So that's the title of that book. That book is a collection of 70 essays about being a young dad, a young father, young husband, trying to kind of figure out life with a wife and kids and dogs and all that other stuff. New house, new neighborhood, everything was new. A lot of this was written during the oh my God growth period that Plainfield went through, and we were all a part of that. So, this one is called Chapter 1, Shut Up and Listen to Your Wife. Finally, 3,649 days later, I figured it out. For nearly 10 years of married life, I have been trying to convince my wife that it's not just me. When I tell her, for example, that she has to turn off the light on her side of the bed, I'm not being lazy or just pulling something out of the arbitrary hat of rules. I am quoting from the Young Married's Handbook. The handbook is a very useful tool for fairly arbitrating any marital dispute. It's intended mainly for couples still learning how to walk that tightrope of marriage as they adjust to their partner's many quirks. But the handbook's guidelines are just as useful down the road when the adventure of discovery congeals into gelatinous complacency. That sounds gross. Okay. Good, it worked. For some reason, though, the handbook never seemed to have the desired effect. In debate after dispute, I would cite it to bolster my point, but my wife rarely saw its inherent logic, probably because I hadn't committed it to print yet. Well, tomorrow is our 10th wedding anniversary, and Saturday we are renewing our wedding vows. So now is as good a time as any to jot down some of the handbook's key points. 1. Never make fun of your partner's choice in pick one: music, television, books, movies, even if he or she thinks that the Brady kids were a hoot and doesn't recognize the superior comic brilliance of Arnold the Pig from Green Acres. 2. Remember, toothpaste tubes have a bottom for a reason, to be squeezed. Don't touch the middle until it becomes the bottom. Likewise, there is indeed a difference between over and under when it comes to toilet paper. Learn your partner's preference and honor it. 3. Always side with your spouse in all contests of skill, especially family and social disputes. Remember, you chose each other. You didn't choose your parents or your siblings or your in-laws. 4. Never question why your partner continues to support, insert your favorite sports team here, despite their ongoing futility. Statements like, I don't know why you bother to keep watching as the Bears or Bulls or Cubs or Sox or Blackhawks get stomped yet again, do little to engender love and affection. 5. Remember, it's only money. It really doesn't matter, I say as I complain about the kitchen. Jesus, God, it's only money. Okay, it doesn't really matter how much he or she manages to squeeze in between phone calls to family and friends that he or she could have and probably did talk to earlier that day. It's the cathartic quality of the experience for your partner that's important. A good telephone call makes for a happy partner, and a happy partner makes for a happy you. Of course, a good telephone call pack also saves a lot of heartache. For you people who've only grown up with cell phones, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. That used to be a thing. Buy a call pack. Okay. Where are we at? Six? So what if your partner likes Spam and grits and okra? Believe it or not, lots of people do. Chef, that doesn't necessarily make him or her, weird. 7. No, your partner cannot resist the urge to flip through all 99 channels during every commercial break. Yes, he or she does need to watch for the 1000th time the episode of Little House on the Prairie in which Laura falls for her future husband Manly. So what if he or she can recite entire hunks of Ben-Hur or The Godfather? Get over it. 8. When choosing children's names, remember how viciously creative little kids can be with initials and nicknames and such. Aunt Mildred and Uncle Mortimer will get over the hurt of their names not being carried on through another generation, and your children will love you forever. 9. It won't kill you to help with the laundry or dinner or cleaning or yard work. 10. If you promise to be home by 6 p.m., be home by 5:45 p.m., not 6:30 p.m. The job will be there tomorrow. If you're always late, your spouse may not be. And last, 11. Watching your own kids so that your spouse can take a well-deserved break does not constitute babysitting. You help make them, you can help watch them. And last, above all, remember that laughter and love go hand in hand, as you always should when walking in public. So there it is, the first chapter of the Young Married's Handbook. Now on to chapter 2, the Battle of the Bulge. Thank you. All right.